T-Man 978 Chill Review. Transformers Generations Combiner Wars Breakneck, aka Wildrider. Things to let you know up front, I'm not going to do a transformation in this video. I'm going to link Dead End's video to this one because he's the exact same mold and does the exact same things. Has the exact same weapons and all that. At some point, maybe towards the end, I'm going to have a little bit of a rant. And of course, I'm going to have to do the obligatory new Menasor mode with him on there. But anyway, let's get to this. Here he is. Let's show you his face first and foremost, because that's the only thing new besides his head, besides his paint job. And that head mold or sculpt is very, very good. You can't think of anybody besides Wildrider. But anyway, before I get too deep, let me show you the things that he came with. The back of the packaging, we see that they lazily covered up Dead End with Breakneck instead of replacing Off-Road there. And in both pictures, you see that they're a darker color than they actually are in toy form.
Breakneck has no respect for the rules of road or anything on it. Autobot or Decepticon, it doesn't matter. Any bot that gets in his way is in the line for repairs once Breakneck is done with him. Even the unpredictable Stunticons see him as an out-of-control Wildrider.
Here's his comic cover. Here's the back of his comic cover with the same exact picture as Dead End, just with his head on it. Here's a close-up on his little bio thing right here. You can read that by pausing. Here's the inside, and basically they just show you Dead End, which this guy really is. And here's this stuff right here with the paint schematics and all that. And that's about that. He comes with the exact same combiner weapon as Dead End. The only way you can tell them apart if you mix them up in a box or something, they have a different plastic piece right there. This lighter one is Dead End's, and this one is Breakneck's. So there's that. They come with the same pipe weapon. Only thing is Dead End's is slightly more silver looking, but exactly identical. Here's a closer look at his robot mode before I bring Dead End for comparison. So you can see what's different and what's not different. Spoiler, almost nothing. But nicely colored. I like the color scheme there. This is red paint, whereas this is like a red plastic. The hands are red plastic, the legs are red plastic. Red paint down there. They didn't paint the back of these windshields, as you'll see in car mode, just like with Dead End. He has a little bit of silver right there on his backpack, which you'll see more in car mode. But yeah, like I said, this is my favorite of the Stunticon molds. And so far, I haven't got any of the Defensor guys, but this is probably one of my favorite molds, period, design-wise. Like, he looks like a full-on robot, like a fully fleshed-out robot and not just a combiner. But here's Dead End. And basically, besides their heads, the only real difference is the color scheme. And they're very close in color. I can kind of remember as a kid, I used to get these two mixed up. But there you go. Both have painted rims. The Decepticon logo is on a different side. Slightly darker Decepticon logo, but yeah. Let me get him transformed and show you the differences in vehicle mode. Here he is in vehicle mode. He looks nice, just like Dead End looked nice. His Decepticon symbol is still to a slant. As you can see that gunmetal silver right there. This kind of doesn't look right to me. And they didn't paint the rear windshield. He still doesn't click together tightly just like Dead End. But the side panels, because of this little piece of plastic right there, Dead End has that too. But for some reason it seems to stay tighter than Dead End. But anyway, let's bring in Dead End. It's almost like they have the reverse color scheme. Here they are, like that. Of course, he has that gray plastic right there, but that doesn't bother me as much for some reason. Actually, they did paint the windshield there, so they're cheaped out over here. Look at the rear. They didn't paint any lights back here, which is a bit unfortunate, but yeah, they look nice. Let me bring in off-road. This is a surprise. I thought they were going to make Breakneck or Wildrider like a darker color, like more black, like he was on his packaging, which I forgot to mention on his review. On the packaging, he was black and not like a smoky gray. But their color scheme is extremely, this gray is extremely close. So there's that as far as the color. Because, of course, there are two different vehicles, so there's really nothing else to compare there. Since I have both of these characters now, I have both pipe weapons, and you get to see what the car looks like with both pipe weapons on the side. Which, yeah, doesn't really look all that well. It looks kind of silly. Maybe if it was like curved in right there, but then you wouldn't have a handle to hold it. And here are both weapons on Dead End. Same result. Let me cap off the review of him before we go to Menasor mode. This combiner part, I don't know if it's just mine or everybody's, but it's very, very, very loose. I mean, he barely holds it on any of the peg holes on his whole body. Even, unfortunately, this part right here, where it's majorly important to be tight. I mean, boom. You don't even have to move it. It just basically barely even friction stays in there at all. Dead End's part is a little bit, yeah, it's a lot tighter. I mean, I really have to wiggle and pull on that. And it sticks on here better. So I don't know if everybody's going to be like that. But anywho, I was really pressed to get Wildrider and Slingshot to make a completely G1 team. But now that they're in hand, I haven't opened Slingshot yet, so I'm going to reserve my opinion on Slingshot. But I'm very underwhelmed. And honestly, I probably could have done without him. Even though I want him a little bit more because of the G1 head sculpt. That looks really nice, but yeah, I don't know. All of these Combiner Wars Deluxes are very, very similar, and I guess I'm starting to get a little bit burnt out on that. Like, I'm buying the same toy over and over again, I almost feel like. So, this line is just starting to get very similar. Hasbro made a genius move with this. I mean, they were able to get us tons of characters, put a little bit more paint on the figures by basically using the same molds over and over and over again, and getting us more characters so we can be happy, but starting to get burnt out a little bit. Anywho, let me get to Menasor. And here is your updated look at Menasor. Adding Breakneck down here does not keep Blackjack in there tighter. And look at that. Come on, that foot just comes right off there. Because, I don't know if everybody's going to be like that. But mine's is. And it doesn't add anything to Menasor's posability. He's just good, like I said, at standing there. looking goofy with these wide hips. And now you have an extra guy rolling around down here, not knowing what to do with himself. I want to be part of the team. But let me show you another configuration. Here's his old school leg configuration right here. And I'm not trying to be mean to this toy. I'm going to put a card for the full review. If you haven't seen my full Menasor review, watch that mess. But anywho, here you go right here. The hips, as I mentioned, I try to get them straight, but it's either this way or it's either he leans one way or he leans the other. I'm not even going to mess with it. There you go right there. I tried to, before I started filming this, get him into a good pose. That's why his hands are open, but... And here is the suggested format as on the packaging that you put off-road down there. And you know what? They were being lazy by recoloring dead end as breakneck on the packaging, but really, they want you to buy this guy too. So that's probably why they suggested this form. And here he is. Now you have two matching arms on one side. I guess you could switch it up and put them on that side, or make them have two matching legs. You know what? Let me do that before I close things out. And here, not only does he have two matching lower legs, but I attempted to get him in a pose where it's not just standing straight up and down. But, there it is. Hope you enjoy it. Anyway, if you enjoyed this review, give me a like, subscribe, share, comment. T-Man978. Until next time.